to my kings, queens, and in-betweens. I'm Valerie, and welcome to my channel, The Bookish Valkyrie. So as you can see, I am starting this video in my car, and there is a good reason for that, which is this is a spur-of-the-moment video. I was driving my husband to work for the week, and it is like a 2.5-hour drive. And while I was out here, I wanted to check out a new indie bookstore in the Salt Lake area. It's called the Lovebound Library, and it is all romance books. So I am super excited to check it out and see what's going on. I have seen some of the footage that Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life has filmed of it, and it looks interesting, and I wanna check it out for myself. I had started the day off with my hair down, and it is just too blasted hot for that. So I stopped at a Target to buy some hair ties, and while I was there, of course, I checked out the book section. I really should have probably filmed a little bit of it, but it's too late. So anyhow, I did end up picking up a book of poetry that I have had my eye on for the last little while. It's called Watering the Soul by Courtney Peppernell. I've only read like a very small sample of her stuff, but I definitely am trying to bulk up my poetry collection, and I am looking for I'm looking for books to help me get into the poetry headspace and maybe find some poems to be in conversation with. I find that some of my best poetry starts out as a response to something that I thought or felt while reading somebody else's poetry. For instance, the poem that I read out of this book was one that had a completely different message than what I have in my head, but I definitely have a response in mind. And so I will, when I get home, I will probably sit down and read it a couple of times, maybe read it out loud, and then do some writing of my own. It has been a while since I've done any writing, and I know that I do better when I am writing like in a group setting or in conversation with someone. So that's what I'm trying to do with this. We'll see how that goes. I'm also kind of gearing up for figuring out what I'm gonna do for NaNoWriMo this year, if I'm going to do poetry or if I'm going to actually try to write a novel. We'll see. Or maybe like a collection of prose and poetry, short stories maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. So I'm just trying to get the writing gears going and see what strikes me as the project that I want to do in November. And as I move slow as molasses when it comes to making progress in anything, starting in August is a good idea. So yeah, first book called today. We'll see what I walk out with from the Lovebound Library. It opened sometime earlier this year, I believe. I'm not positive, but I don't think it's even been open a year. And yeah, I'm really excited to check it out, see what they have to offer, and who knows, maybe I will walk out with a new book or two.
I look at you and it's easy to see you are that someone I've been trying to meet. I got your number, won't you pick up the phone? Don't leave me hanging on the dial tone. Think back to the night that we met, jumping in the pool, talk to you, dripping wet. Nervous when I speak, so I trip on my tongue. Never thinking you would be my number one. Nervous when I speak, so I trip on my tongue. Never thinking you would be my number one. Jump in your car and we drive to the beach. The sun was setting, it was just you and me. When wind in my hair and the sand in my shoes. Could've chosen anyone, but I choose you. Hop back in your car, top down. There's no stopping us, 'cause we own this town. Never knew I could have such fun. Never thinking you would be my number one. Nervous when I speak, so I trip on my tongue. Never thinking you would be my number one.
So I am finally back home and ready to haul my books from the Lovebound Library. I got 3 books and 2 bookish items. And any noise in the background is my dogs. They are munching on some chews so that they aren't yapping and howling. The bookish items I got were a vinyl bookmark. And I love that it has this ticket with the little divider and everything. I think it's adorable. And it's a great little souvenir for visiting the bookshop. And then I got these sticky notes that you can add to your books with star ratings and thoughts and notes and things. And I think that is fantastic and fun, and I will probably start using these immediately. So the first 2 books are ones that are new favorites of the year, so I've already read them, but now I'm adding the shelf trophies to my collection. So starting with You Should Be So Lucky by Kat Sebastian. I love this book. It gave me all of the feels. It is sweetness and sunshine and grumpiness and all the good things that make me happy. And a very believable mid-century story. So absolutely recommend it if you have not read it. It is the second book in a series, although it is definitely a book that can be read as a standalone, because this book and the first book each feature their own individual couples, but they are connected. This character works with the characters from the first book, so it can be read alone or as part of the series. And then the next one is Role Playing by Kathy Yardley, and I loved this book. This may be favorite of the year. I don't know, we'll see. And it's hard to say. So when I wrap up my year, I think I may have to separate my favorites of the year by genre, because there's like, it's apples and oranges. How do you choose a horror or a romance over each other? So anyhow, so far as romance goes, I think this may be my favorite of the year. We'll see how the rest of the year goes, but I absolutely loved it. And I actually read both of these books for the Amazing Readathon. So if you want to see me reading these and talking about them more in depth, then go ahead and check out those vlogs. All right, and then the next book is one that I have not read yet, and that is The Truth According to Ember by Danica Nava. This is a debut novel, and I have heard some mixed reviews about it, but any of the negatives that people have said are not things that I count as negatives. I think they're much more of a personal taste variety, so I have a good feeling. Also, it's really floppy, like super floppy. Sorry, I got distracted by the floppiness. But yeah, I am excited to read this and see what I think, and super excited to have these books from the Lovebound Library. All right, that's it for me, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to, and in the comments, let me know what your favorite indie store is, and if you don't want to do that, then leave me a book stack emoji to let me know you were here. Thanks for watching, and see you next video.
Stars shining bright above me. Night breezes seem to whisper. Sycamore tree. Dream a little dreamer.
Lovebound it's called the Lovebound. Bleh. All right, so I am finally back home and I forgot my stuff. So the first two books are books that are you can get all of the, you know, goodness if you read both this and the if you read both of these books. Just don't judge me. Like, I think I'm going to have to, when I